There now follows a party political broadcast on behalf of the Labour Party.
I worked for Amicus for 22 and a half years, before then MSF and ASTMS. I learnt an enormous amount during that time. I met a lot of good friends. It's a wonderful union because of the variety of members it represents, and it's always been a trade union that was aware of the world in which members work, and always been a union that was committed to dealing with the world as it is as we seek to change it into the world we want it to be. And it's given me a great deal that I've taken with me as I've gone on to do other work, including this job now as Secretary of State for International Development. I really welcome what Amicus is doing in running the Africa Matters campaign, because it's in Africa we're seeing least progress in getting children into primary school where they should be, in reducing the number of mothers who die quite needlessly in pregnancy and childbirth, the number of children who die every single day of diarrheal diseases, which we have the medical knowledge to treat. Why? Because they live in communities where that care isn't available. The 2.5 million Africans who die of AIDS every single year. We can make a difference. Britain's aid programme is making a difference, but we can only carry on doing that if people vote for Britain to continue to have a large aid programme. And that's the choice we face in this election. If Africa matters, and it does, then we've got to vote in the right way. And we need a Labour government if we're going to carry on helping the people of Africa to build what they want more than anything else, which is a better future for themselves and their families and the next generation that will come after them.
What I saw in Africa made me understand not only how urgent the needs are, but how important solidarity between our country and countries in the poorest parts of the world now is. You meet 8, 9 and 10-year-old kids who in Britain assume that they can stay on at school. In Africa, begging to be able to stay on at school because they couldn't stay on at school because they couldn't afford to pay the school fees. And I met in Mozambique mothers who were waving £5 checks, their paychecks, only £5 a week in a sugar factory, and saying what hope had they to be able to pay school fees for their kids, because school education is not free in Mozambique, because they're paying more in debt now than they're paying in their education budget. And then I met this AIDS victim who was just 30 years old, and he was dying of AIDS. And his problem was not just that he was suffering from AIDS. He was suffering from the stigma of people saying, how had he got AIDS in his community? And he said, however, I know I'm resented in my community, but are we not all brothers? And his young sister said to me that she wanted to be a doctor. She saw what was happening to her brother. She wanted to be a doctor. But you knew immediately for that 13-year-old, there was absolutely no chance. She couldn't afford school education, far less medical education, and her dream to be a doctor was forever doomed. We talk about children's life chances, and I just met a child whose life chances were non-existent. But if we, the Labour movement, working with other countries, could help hundreds and then thousands and then hundreds of thousands and perhaps help millions, then what a different world it could be. And that's why in this year, the year when we're chairing the G8, we're proposing debt relief for Africa, a new international finance facility that would double aid to half poverty, new arrangements from trade so that Africa can trade with the rest of the world and developing countries are able to do so, and therefore jobs can be created there as well, to the benefit of us in the long run as well. Don't let us say there are no good causes left. These are big issues that we, the Labour movement, can make an influence upon. I met Nelson Mandela, who thanked the Labour movement for what we had done, but knows with HIV/AIDS, with education denied 100 million children, with 30,000 children in Africa dying every day from unnecessary diseases, there is more to do. So when we go to this election campaign, there are big issues. There are great causes worth fighting for.
For more information about James Alexander and the Labour Party, please visit www.time-for-change.org.uk.